Right, see if this works. Good grief, I had problems tonight. Sorry about that, guys. Running a little bit late. Don't see anybody in here yet, so you may notice the camera view is a little bit different. Just having to run this off my phone. For some reason, off the iPad, the app kept crashing. That's why I'm a little bit late getting in here. So if you are new to this live broadcast, pretty much every Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central is when I try to run this. We go for about an hour, and I don't know what else. It's pretty much just an Ask Me Anything. I'm getting all set up here. If you are new, again, I do have some problems occasionally. We've been having the everything kind of crash, and I have to restart the broadcast. If it happens before 8 o'clock Central Time, I'll join back if I can, if systems let me, and we'll get going again, so just stick around. All right, we got several people in here. Hang on a second here. I got to do a couple of things here to get... Okay, I think we're good. Okay, we got Olivia, we got Ellen, we got Michaela, Aviario, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, Michaela, and Sean. Welcome to the live broadcast. Thanks, guys, for joining. Again, sorry I'm running late. What am I, about 10 minutes late? Oh, 8 minutes late. Not too bad, huh? Sorry I'm running a little bit late. Just had some technical issues. Couldn't get the app to work for some reason. Kept crashing on me, so resorted to using my phone. So it's kind of set up a little bit weird. If the camera goes all crazy on me, I apologize for that. And it's up a little bit higher than normal, so hopefully it's working out. Can you guys hear me okay? Tyler, you got your son's first birthday party and you took time out to come and just hang out with us. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. And tell your son happy birthday. First birthday parties are very, very exciting. All right, Doug says, hey, Chris, I found maggots in my quail poop dropped feed pile. They look like black soldier fly larvae. Would it be okay to harvest these and feed them to my quail? Absolutely, do it. I've done that before as well. I get black soldier fly larvae underneath my quail hutches occasionally. It's fantastic. It takes care of a lot of that manure for me. Really keeps the regular flies down. And yeah, you can harvest them out. You can feed them to your quail for sure. Sean, thanks for stopping by. If you got to go, take care. And we'll see you next week, hopefully. All right, from Panama, Hidden Bunnies, welcome. Thanks for joining. Jimmy from Salem, Missouri, not far from me. We're almost neighbors. And let's see, Walter. Walter's yes to hearing me. Okay, good. Good. All right, you have a good weekend as well, Tyler. Francisco's here. Hello. Rinchin, is that how I pronounce that? Hopefully I'm getting that right. Hey, how are you? Michaela, you like the dog, huh? Max, come on. We'll get him to come back in here. Max, come on. Come here and say hi. This is Max. You guys can see him this week. He's the camera's a little different. This is Max, good dog. Probably the best dog I've ever had. All right, Aviario says, okay, wait. Richard says the birds are doing good. Great, glad to hear that. All right, we got our first question here. Aviario says, Chris, do you have any video making quail pickled eggs? There we go. No, I don't have a video on that. I've made pickled quail eggs once before, and honestly, I don't know if I don't like pickled eggs because I've never really eaten them, or if I just don't like the recipe I tried because they just weren't very good to me. They reminded me a lot of pickled sausage. I need to scoot over. I'm out of the camera. There we go. They reminded me a lot of those pickled sausages you get, which was weird in an egg to me. But I don't know, some people really like them. Just use any kind of pickle recipe you want and try it. Here's what I will tell you about pickled eggs. Don't pickle eggs and can them and then try to store them on your shelf. There is no approved recipe for canning pickled eggs at home. The risk of botulism is just, I don't know how great it is, but botulism is a serious, serious thing. You do not want to get botulism. So you'll have to look that up and see why it's not safe to can eggs. But there is a risk of botulism, so you don't want to do that. You can definitely pickle the eggs, store them in the fridge for up to 30 days. Just use them up within 30 days and you're fine. All right, so where are we at? Boris, you missed the last two lives. That's okay. You don't have to apologize for that. It's fine. I'm just glad you're here. Michaela wants to know, is Max a pit bull? He is part pit bull, part pointer. He's a mixed breed. Came from the pound, and we put a little bit of dog training into him. Boy, he's just the best dog I've ever had. He's just great. All right. Richard says all 4 are celadon layers. Awesome. Nice to have that. And if you've got males in there, hopefully they're celadon as well. And then you can have, if you keep them separated from any other birds, keep them all together, you'll know that all their offspring will be celadon layers as well. Connor O'Leary from Thailand. You're not originally from Thailand, are you, Connor? That sounds like an Irish name if I've ever heard one. All right, hidden bunnies. What does the farmer say when milking cows? Utter nonsense, LOL. Hidden bunnies, you're always good to have a good joke in here. Let's see, I heard one from my uncle the other day. What do you call a cow that just had a baby? Decaffeinated. Okay, where are we at? Thomas, hi Chris. Got my first quail eggs today. Was pretty excited. Those are what we call the $300 egg or $100 egg or whatever, because all the money you put into getting your housing and your quail and all that kind of stuff set up, and then you get the one egg. So it's the $500 egg or $300 egg or whatever that is. So, all right, where we at? Is Max a defender dog? Well, he's not really. I mean, he barks whenever strangers come to the door, but if somebody were to open the door and come in, he might bark at him for a few minutes, and then he'd go right up to him and he'd be friendly as can be. Hopefully it would be enough to scare him off. I don't know if it would be or not. But no, he's not. He doesn't have an aggressive bone in his body. He's part pointer, and he just absolutely loves birds. I mean, just loves them. He chases the birds around the yard. If a quail gets out, he chases it down and catches it. He doesn't kill it, not intentionally anyway, but he'll pin it down to the ground and wait for me to come and get it. He's not aggressive at all. Doesn't want to have anything to do with killing anything or eating anything like that. I had a quail that died, and I thought I'd give it to him to let him eat it. He didn't want it. He didn't want the dead one. He wants to chase the live ones around and play with them, but he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. All right, Allison says, I had my first mama bunny due this week. I've watched all your rabbit videos. Thank you so much for all your wonderful information. Well, thank you so much, Allison, for watching all my videos. Hopefully you're finding that helpful. Good luck on your upcoming litter, and report back. Let us know how they're doing. We'll be here next week. So you said that's due this weekend. By next week, you should have baby bunnies, hopefully. Oh, it's Megan. Okay. I didn't know who it was. Nice. Nice, Rincha. I didn't know who you were. I didn't put that together. So nice. You got the baby quail from me, what, about a week ago? Well, they weren't babies anymore. They were right at 8 weeks old, and they're already starting to lay again. So that's good. That's a quick turnaround. And they're all celadon layers. Congratulations. I'm glad they're doing well. The rest of those all went to the freezer just a couple of days ago. Hidden Bunnies wants to know, am I thinking about visiting Panama? I might visit Panama someday. That seems like might be a good place to take a vacation. I don't know yet. We got to get the money together before I can do it, though. Yep, Ellen, the $500 egg, right? Let's see. Michaela says, do you have any other animals? Let's see. And at the moment, no. I've got the dog, I got the quail, and I got the rabbits. That's the only animals I have right at the moment. I've had all kinds of animals throughout my life, though. I used to keep snakes. At one time, I wanted to be an amateur herpetologist. Actually, I wanted to be more than an amateur. I was an amateur herpetologist, and I had probably 45 different snakes, and I bred corn snakes and king snakes and all kinds of things. But no, not at the moment. I don't. So, Avario with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. All right, where are we at in the questions here? I'm getting distracted. All right, Hidden Bunnies, you said you ordered 3 magnets and they were like $12, but when you got them, they were so tiny. Well, that's unfortunate. Craig Steele says, all 8 hens laying now, and I have 42 eggs collected. Tomorrow I'll put 50 in the incubator. Nice. Hopefully you have a good hatch rate with that. You ever think about getting goats? I haven't personally thought about it. My neighbor's got goats. Of course, Rinchin, you know that. You came over and bought quail, and you saw the neighbor and saw the, what do you call the goats? There we go. Sorry, I got email notifications coming in on my phone. So, okay, where are we at? As far as getting goats myself, I don't know that I ever will. I do like goats. They're cool little animals, but I've just got enough to keep my hands full right now. I still am thinking about getting ducks, but who knows? It may be another year before I do that. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. John Liberty says, can I keep quail with a straw litter instead of a wire cage? Yes, you can. There's no problem with that, John. The only thing you're going to run into is it's a huge amount of mess. You're going to have to clean it up a lot. or really have a great big area for them. I mean, a great big area, not one bird per square foot, but more like, I would go with a lot less dense than that. I would probably go with more like 2 to 3 square feet at least per bird to keep down the mess, because otherwise you're gonna be changing bedding out just about every other day. You're also gonna have maybe a higher chance, whether it's gonna be an issue or not, it's hard to say, of things like lice and mites and those kinds of things, because they'll bed down in the straw itself, and that can affect your birds as well. But you do it, try it and see. I mean, the worst case scenario, you have some problems, you end up getting rid of it, and you go back to straw or go back to the wire cages or whatever. It should work. Okay, Walter. Oh, I missed your question earlier. Have you had problems with jumbo eggs in your quail turner? I broke one of mine. Egg got caught in between the rails. I have not had any problems with that, Walter. You might try the chicken egg turners if you, I've incubated quail eggs in chicken egg turners before and never had a problem with that either, but I've never had a problem with them in my regular quail egg turner either, as far as getting stuck in between. That's crazy that it broke the turner before it broke the egg, though. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what company you got it from, but if it's a Little Giant, you might contact Miller Manufacturing. That's a company that makes Little Giant. My experience has been they've just been great with their customer service. I had a thermostat go out, called them up. They didn't ask me any questions like when did you buy it, nothing. They just sent me a new thermostat, and it worked perfectly. So that's it. Tyler, long time no see. Glad you made it. All right, Lance says, hello, Chris. I'm new to quail. I have very much enjoyed your videos. Awesome information. Thank you. Well, thank you, Lance, for watching the videos. I'm glad that you're finding them useful and helpful. And good luck on your new quail. Michaela says, what is the $5 thing? Oh, Michaela, the $5 thing, it's like it's a super chat. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, there is a $sign down there. I don't know what you have to do to set it up exactly, but if you click on that, you can donate money. It's really kind of, I think what it's kind of meant for is honestly like big channels where you go into a live broadcast and there's hundreds of people in there and the chat's going by so fast, it makes your chat stand out. So it's really like more likely for your chat to get answered. I pretty much try to answer every single chat that comes up, and usually I'm able to keep up with it pretty well. But hey, I appreciate the $5 donation from Aviario. Didn't even post a question, just gave me a $5 donation. So thank you so much for that. All right, Danny says, oops, okay, again, why don't quail need starter, grower, and layer? Why don't they need all? Oh, you mean why don't you switch? Why do I always go with the chicken or the quail, excuse me, game bird starter? There we go. Well, because really it's just a higher protein and it fits the quail a little bit better. When you go to like the grower and the layer, they're higher calcium percentages, lower protein. I personally like to have a higher protein, and I don't like to get real high on the calcium. That's one thing you're going to hear people say all the time is, you know, you have an egg that was laid with no shell, and they automatically jump to your birds need more calcium, and they'll tell you to add more calcium. Very seldom is that the case. It's just something that happens whenever you get a you know, just occasionally, especially when the birds first start laying, you're going to get some weird eggs, some either great big eggs, some little bitty eggs, some eggs with no shells. And if you add too much calcium to your bird's diet, it can actually cause problems with the shells being too thick, and it can lower your hatch rate. Their ideal calcium is like between 1.5 and 2.5%. And that's usually what's in a game bird starter. And I also like the higher protein, especially when they're molting and when they're young. It really helps them grow. And I find it does great for my birds with their egg production. It keeps their egg production up. And when I had to switch to a lower protein feed for a while, my egg production went down. And that may have been just because of switching feed. It may have eventually picked back up. But my experience, they do better with a higher protein feed. That's why I go with game bird starter. If you want to go with a grower and a layer, nothing wrong with that. Do it. I'm sure they're going to do just fine. John says, I don't mind cleaning it out daily. If you don't mind cleaning it out daily, do it. There's no problem with it at all. 5 Tons with Guns is back. Hello, Chris. Thanks for all the great info. Well, hey, thanks for joining the live chats or the live broadcast. There we go. Thanks for watching the videos, and thanks for being a part of the community. I appreciate it. Michaela says, I like ducks. I like ducks too. I especially like fried egg sandwiches, and there's not much better than a fried duck egg sandwich. That's one of the best eggs they're fantastic. Because the best part about a fried egg sandwich is, you know, you cut it down the middle and all the yolk runs everywhere, and you get to eat it and sop up all that yolk with the bread, and there's so much yolk in a duck egg. It's fantastic. All right. Hidden Bunny says, what area in your house are you in? Your office? Well, I guess you could call it my office. It's technically I have a 4-bedroom house. This is the 4th bedroom, and it's on the back of the house. I didn't realize this when I bought the house, but they took away from the garage. It's supposed to have a 2-car garage, but they built this extra room on at some point, and it took away from the garage. So I still have a 2-car garage width-wise, but you can't fit a car in it lengthwise because of this extra room. So yeah, I kind of treat it as an office. I have my computers in here. I have my reloading bench over here, my plant, my seed starting station behind me here, the shelves over there. The brooder box with the new birds in it's right down here. It's just kind of kind of an office. Okay, 2 girls and an acre homestead. There we go. Says, good evening. I just put in 10 Gamble quail. I don't have any experience with Gamble quail myself, but good luck. Hopefully they, you're talking, wait, do you actually have the birds or is it the eggs? I'm not sure which one. Either way, good luck with that. Hopefully it works out well. Gamble are pretty birds. I like them a lot. I just don't raise them myself because the Coturnics are so much better layers and for meat and all that kind of stuff. All right, where are we at here? Avario says, I used to raise ball pythons. Caramel, pastel, Mojave. Do you pewter, bumblebee, spider, and a few? Oh, you're talking about different color strains of the ball pythons. Yeah, when I was raising snakes, ball pythons were fairly new into the pet industry. Most of them you could get were kind of wild caught. I've had a few, like ball pythons, are beautiful snakes. But they were hard to come by, and the ones that were captive bred, and they were just starting to get those, you know, the piebalds and the albinos and those kinds of things were just starting to kind of come into the pet industry, and they were running like $4,000 or $5,000 a snake. It was ridiculous amounts of money. But I've had a few ball pythons. I like them quite a bit. All right, Kinsey says, hey Chris, I finally received my incubator. I'm a happy man now. Time to go back and watch the Chris videos on how to incubate eggs, LOL. Well, Kinsey, congratulations on your new incubator. Super exciting. You know, make sure, I wouldn't go out and buy like the most expensive eggs. Make sure, you know, just try it out a couple of times, get kind of the hang of it. Chances are you're going to do just fine, but it's better to do your first incubation with, you know, kind of cheaper eggs. So if you mess up, if it doesn't go right, you can kind of troubleshoot without spending a lot of money on expensive eggs, if that makes sense. But congratulations on your new incubator. Glad to hear it. John Liberty says, I got to go lock up chickens. Can you pause the show until I get back? Well, no, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I know you say you're just kidding. But go lock up the chickens, John. It's still sunshine out here. But, all right, where are we at? I don't know what that means. Hidden Bunny's super laggy. Oh, the video's super laggy. I know I've been having all those problems. I don't know if that is a problem with my internet speed. I've got a pretty decent internet connection. Or if it's the app that I'm trying to stream through. I don't know what the problem is. I've been trying to fix it and just can't figure it out. The Bluesman says, I use 30% turkey crumbles. It's cheaper. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with turkey starter. And turkey crumble for that matter. That's a great alternative to game bird starter if you can't find it in your area. I get game bird starter for like, it's like $12 for a 50-pound bag. I can't find anything cheaper than that. So that's what I use. $12.99 for Craig Steele says, I found 30% for $12.99, so I'll try to get that next. Mine grew great on 24%. Yeah, if 24% is working, do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Will Brady says, every day when I collect my quail eggs, one is always broken. Is there anything I can do to prevent that? By the way, they are on dirt. Well, Will, you could probably, you know, collect them a little bit earlier. Chances are they're laying in the evening, so you might go out in the evening and try to collect them. It's probably the birds walking all over them that's causing that to happen. And if they're just starting to lay, just give them a little bit of time. They'll get over that. You know, when they first start to lay, again, they have kind of some weird issues where they seem to lay every once in a while an egg with no shell. Every once in a while a really tiny egg. Every once in a while a double yolk egg, and every once in a while, you know, an egg with a really thin shell on it. So eventually they'll probably get over that. Kinsey says, I bought a 30% protein with 1.5% calcium and they love it. I learned that quails don't like changes at all. That's true, Kinsey. Yeah, when you change things, the quail tend to freak out and they kind of stop laying for a couple of weeks. And I don't know if that applies to the feed or not, but I don't see why it wouldn't. They don't like change. But yeah, 30% protein, 1.5 calcium, sounds like the perfect feed. It should work out well. All right, Foxy Gaming says, hi, so basically I butchered my 2 quails because I waste lots of money trying to make them to lay eggs, and I ordered 50 quail chicks and just wanted to tell you that. Well, sorry to hear that that didn't work out, Foxy. I don't know if it's just the birds you had, but the biggest issue with them laying is stability. You got to keep them in an area, give them their cage, and make sure that they have the same cage. Don't move them around a lot. Let them get used to it, and then light. They got to have 14 hours a day of light in order to lay. Those two things right there. If you're moving them around a lot, changing out cages and those kinds of things, then they're probably not going to lay. They don't like change. They don't like that stress. But hopefully your next 50 will do great. I'm sure they will. John, did I miss something? Oh, I had to put chickens away. Okay, there we go. Michaela says, what is your favorite animal and least favorite animal? Boy, I don't know. My favorite animal, oh boy, that's hard to say. Probably my dog. I like my dog a lot. He's a great dog. And I like dogs in general. My least favorite is definitely wasps. I do not like wasps. But other than that, I don't think there's many animals I don't like. I like pretty much all of them. I find nature fascinating. The Bible tells me that creation declares the glory of God, and I find that to be true. When I look at creation, all animal life, the way it works together, I can't help but think that's creation right there, declaring the glory of God. That is no way that stuff could have happened on accident. That is definitely God's hand in it. So I like everything. All right. Hidden Bunnies, wow, I get likes fast. I guess I do. 17 likes so far. The Cousins, hey, how are you? Bluesman says, I've been live streaming my valley quail in their new cage. They are crazy. 1-year-old male is fostering 13 babies. He took right to them. You know, I've had pretty good luck with Coturnix as well, mixing in babies, not tiny ones, but at about 4 to 5 weeks old, and mixing them in with older birds. They seem to mix in really well, very little fighting, and then they just kind of mature and no problems. I've had really good luck with that. I don't know if that holds true. I don't know how valley quail are with aggression, but Coturnix can be very aggressive when you introduce new birds to them, but they seem to do really well with the younger birds. All right, Luis Romano says, my next step is to conceal their eggs and make a better breed. Personal mind are better than chickens. I'm not sure what you're saying, Luis, there. I missed part of that. Your next step is to conceal their eggs and make a better breed. Okay, I'm not sure. I've lost. I'm sorry. Cousins, you have to go. Well, take care. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Sorry I'm looking down here and not at the camera, but I got to read the chat down here. I'll have it set up a little bit better next week, hopefully. All right. Avario says, any recommendations on where to buy fertile eggs? You know, you can't go wrong with Kansas City Quail Farms. They have some great bloodlines. Also, Chicky Poppins sells eggs as well. I don't have personal experience with the eggs, but he's in here all the time, and I got no reason to think it wouldn't be good. I think he's NPIP certified as well. So those are two things you can look at right there. All right, where are we at here? Luis says, in meat for plants and fertilizer, eggs, greetings, friends, and thanks for your videos. It helped me a lot. Well, thanks, Luis, for watching them. I'm not sure exactly what you're telling me. I'm kind of missing that a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it out. But thanks for watching all the videos. Hopefully you're finding them useful. Thank you for joining the live cast. Keep trying to get that across to me. I'm a little dense sometimes, and I'll do my best to respond specifically to that. You're saying you're going to make you're better than, oh, you think that quail are better than chickens, I think, and you're trying to selectively breed to get specific blood, to improve your bloodlines with the quail. So I got that, and I missed the rest of it. I'm sorry. All right. Angel Hoffer says, hello, I don't have a homestead by any means, but I'm starting with rabbits, and it's been really good so far. I'm excited to start a garden next. Well, you know what, Angel? I don't have really a homestead either. I have a garden, pretty good sized garden. I have rabbits, I have quail. I produce a lot of my own food, and I live right in the middle of town. I wouldn't consider this a homestead at all. So there's nothing wrong with that. You do what you can, and you do where you can. That's all that matters. If you don't have a big area to do gardens in, do container gardens. You can grow a lot of things in containers, and in some ways it's easier. But heck, you do what you can. No reason. Don't apologize for not having a homestead, so to speak. All right, Michaela says, are you allergic to anything? I don't think I'm allergic to anything. Nothing I know of. MJ Homestead says, hi, kind of a personal question for you. Not sure if you are married or not. Whatever. but does your significant other enjoy eating the rabbits and quail? I am married, MJ. Actually got married a year ago, May 27th. So just celebrated my 1-year anniversary. My wife does like eating the quail and the rabbits, some things more than others. When I saved the quail hearts and fried those up, she didn't much care for those. She ate them. She said, well, they're okay, which means she didn't really like them. But, you know, liver, she'll eat some rabbit liver. It's not her favorite either. It's one of my favorites, but she doesn't really care for it that much. But she likes the rabbit meat. She likes the quail meat. Yeah, she's perfectly fine with that. And she even helps me when it comes to like butchering them and all those kinds of things. She helps me take care of them. All right, Hidden Bunny says, I moved my quail to the new cage and they still lay eggs. Why? Well, you know what? They'll have eggs stored up in them, so they'll probably lay for a day or two, and then they may stop for a week or two. So don't be surprised if they do. No big deal. All right, the chat's starting to get away from me. If I miss your questions or comments, feel free to re-ask it. I will do my best to get it answered. All right, Craig still says, what about mosquitoes? I don't worry about mosquitoes. It's not been a problem for me. And we have a lot around here, but it doesn't seem to bother the birds or the rabbits at all. Lulu the Silky Chicken says, hello, I just bought a pair of meat rabbits. They are New Zealand and Chinchilla mix. Are those good meat breeds? They are pretty good meat breeds. I really prefer to have purebred rabbits for my breeders. So like maybe if you had a Chinchilla and a New Zealand and breed them, and then the crossbreeds be the kind of the grow outs, those are the meat rabbits. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. New Zealand's are great meat breeds. Chinchilla, pretty good meat breeds as well. And you should get some really soft babies out of that. So they may grow out a little slow. That's not necessarily a big deal. That's not necessarily a problem. All right, Syed says, are you planning on getting any more, hopefully I pronounced your name right. Are you planning on getting any more animals? If you are, what type of animals are you going to get? Again, I may get ducks. I don't know. That's kind of the thing I've been kind of stuck on for the last year. Thinking about getting some ducks, but I don't really have any plans for any other animals right offhand. Cousins, God bless you as well. Andrea says, hi, my question is it okay to leave the light on all the time on my quails? They freak when I turn the light off. It's really best to give them some darkness. Light 24 hours a day can make them kind of go crazy. It's just, and you can lead to higher aggression and all those kinds of things. It's not that big a deal if you want to leave it on 24 hours a day. If you're not having problems, you're not having problems. But I really do think it's probably best to give them a nighttime cycle. When you turn the lights off, they might freak out a little bit, but they'll calm right down and they'll go to sleep. All right. All right, so we got lagging issues, but some people are saying it's not lagging for them. Other people are, I'm sorry guys, if it is lagging, I wouldn't be surprised. It's been kind of an issue, an ongoing issue on my live broadcast. If it's laggy, I apologize for that. I don't know how to fix it, but we'll just keep going and do the best we can. All right. Oh no, Catherine's allergic to onions. Oh, that would be terrible. I love onions. Onions and everything. Oh, I can imagine having to live without onions. Hidden Bunny's got a new joke for us. Why was the cow afraid? Because he was a cow herd. Michaela wants to know, where is my wife? She's at work right now. She had to work a late shift tonight. She won't get home till probably about 9 o'clock tonight. And it's like 7:45 right now, 7:35. So I got a little while before she gets home tonight. If you look back at some of my older videos, I've got videos of her and I together before we got married. Like a Valentine's Day video I posted. There's a couple of them in there. All right. Sayed says, any tips on making my quails get bigger other than vid info? Not really. Most of that's genetics. There are things that can happen that can stunt their growth, but for the most part, it's genetics. Keep the bigger birds, breed them, eat the smaller ones, and over time, you should end up with bigger birds. But it may take several generations. It may take a while before that happens. That's really the best tip. There are, jumbo birds are out there. I've got jumbo pharaohs. They're much bigger than the standard birds. But every once in a while, I get small birds from them too. It just happens. All right. Craig Steele says, I get eaten alive by mosquitoes every time I go in my backyard. Oh, so if you were looking for tips on how to keep from getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, DEET. DEET is the best. I mean, it's just, Get some, you know, deep woods off, something like that, the highest DEET amount you can get, spray it down, it'll keep the mosquitoes off of you. Martin says, tell us your favorite quail recipe. I don't know if I have a favorite quail recipe. Tell you what, those little poppers I did, cut the breast off, and I posted a video on it. You know, lay a slice of jalapeno and some cream cheese, wrap it with bacon and bake those off. Oh man, those were pretty good. I also did quesadillas with them one time. That was pretty good. I've cooked them whole in like with like stovetop stuffing in a dish. I think I did a video on that a while back. That's a good recipe as well. I don't know if I have an absolute favorite. Quail's pretty good. It may take a little bit to get used to it if you're not used to it, because it's not a white meat. It's a dark meat, and it's a little bit more minerally, I think, than what you would expect. Kind of like, I don't know, has almost like a hint of liver kind of taste to it, if that makes sense. But it may take you a little while to acclimate to that flavor if you're not used to it. But I like it quite a bit. All right, Kinsey says, Chris, last week you said something about the quail that laid blue eggs. I think you said they can die easy. Now, is that in the chick or the adult stage? It can be in any stage, actually. And I don't quote me on this because I can't remember if it's the celadon layers that carry that gene or the silvers. Some bird, I can't remember which one it is, does carry that, what they call terminal gene, and it can just lead to sudden death for no reason. Usually it is going to be your chicks, but it could be older birds as well that can happen to. It's not a huge concern. You may lose a bird out of a batch of 20, so it's not like every bird's going to die. It's just it's a gene that they carry, and if they get that gene, they're probably going to die, and they just die suddenly for no reason. You never know why. The Bluesman says, if I get ducks, get Muscovies. I've had a lot of people recommend that to me. I like Muscovies. They're interesting birds. But I live right in the middle of town, so I'm not sure that Muscovies would be the best bet. Maybe. Rebecca, hi Chris, how long do you let your quail rest after you butcher them? How long after you butcher them do you freeze them? Good question, Rebecca. Let me take a drink here and I'll answer that. Okay, with everything I butcher, I let it rest usually about 24 hours. Wait till the rigor mortis leaves the meat, Once you butcher, you put it in the fridge, it's going to kind of stiffen up. It's going to get like something died. Rigor mortis sets in. Wait till that leaves until it becomes flexible again. It usually takes about 24 hours. And then I go ahead and freeze them or cook them or whatever at that point. You don't really want to cook meat that's in rigor mortis. I mean, you can do it. It's not going to hurt you at all. It's going to taste just fine, but it tends to be very tough and very chewy and not a good texture. So wait till that leaves the meat, and you're going to end up with better results. Hopefully that kind of answers that question. Lulu the Silky Chicken says, around when should I process them? 8 weeks or 12 weeks? What are we talking about, Lulu? Rabbits or, well, actually it doesn't really matter. Rabbits or quail, usually it's about 8 weeks. You can go 12 weeks. Rabbits, I always wait on just till butcher size. I don't really go by age. It takes 12 weeks to do. My quail, I let them go or until I can't stand the males crowing anymore, because when they first start crowing, boy, they really crow. They go crazy. So, sometimes that's 8 weeks, sometimes that's 12 weeks. It just depends. Okay, every RO says, Chris, you should move back to East Texas so I can buy quail from you. Well, it's probably not the best reason for me to move back. All my family's here. This is my home. East Texas wasn't bad. I didn't mind East Texas too much. It was a nice little town I lived in, but this is home. So you can drive up to Missouri and buy chicks from me if you want to. I'll be happy to sell them to you. Rebecca, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. All right, where are we at here? Curtis Snow, have you seen this new Japanese video of students and their teacher cracking eggs open and putting their fertilized eggs in a cup to incubate them? I don't think that's a new video. I think that was out a long time ago. But yeah, I remember seeing something like that. That was pretty interesting, actually. Incubating them in cups. I think they got them to actually develop, at least a couple of them anyway. Pretty interesting. Hidden Bunny says, I just saw your wife in a video and she is so beautiful. Well, I'll tell her you said that. I think she's beautiful as well. John Liberty says, can you make larger quail through hybrid vigor? The more garlic I eat, the less mosquito problems I have. Those are two unrelated comments by the same person. But can you make larger quail through hybrid vigor? Hybrid vigor is usually, I haven't experimented with it heavily in the quail, so I don't really think that's your best bet to go with. And I don't know that that actually applies to quail now that I think about it. I'm not sure, honestly, because it's not like different breeds. I mean, they're all quail. I don't know that the different color strains are technically different breeds, so if the hybrid vigor really applies. If you guys know what we're talking about, hybrid vigor is when you breed like a New Zealand and a chinchilla, two different breeds of rabbits. You breed them together, the offspring have what they call hybrid vigor. They tend to grow faster, they tend to be just healthier, have less problems, and that is a real thing. It really does happen. But it really only holds true for the first generation. So if you take those babies with the hybrid vigor and you breed them, not necessarily to each other, but you breed them even to another one that's got hybrid vigor, the babies from those are not going to have that same hybrid vigor. So I don't think that would hold true for quail either. I think your best bet to get bigger, this pretty much goes for anything, is isolate your bigger birds and then breed only your bigger birds. Only incubate eggs from your bigger birds. You'd have to get very strict with your call policy, very strict. So it's like, at 8 weeks old, weigh all your birds and all of them that are under 12 grams or whatever, you're going to call them out. And only the ones that are over that are the ones you're going to keep. And those are going to be your future breeders. And then you just keep doing that over and over again. And eventually you get bigger and bigger birds. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Catherine says, I just got my first of 2 rabbits, both female, here a couple of weeks ago. They are 2 months old. They were free, but they are Rex. Will it be okay to breed them with a California or New Zealand buck? Yeah, as long as they're not like mini Rex. If they're standard Rex, that's a pretty good meat rabbit. That's a good size rabbit. No problem. You can breed that with a California, with a New Zealand, with a Florida white, with whatever you want to. It's going to be fine. Greg Steele says, thinking about putting plants to deter mosquitoes around the animals and other ways to keep them down. I found a really grilled, marinated with sage, thyme. Okay, you're talking not about plants now, you're talking about quail. Again, 2 different comments from the same person, Craig. Found a recipe for, and I don't know what plants are going to keep mosquitoes away. Citronella, I think, do. But yeah, that's a great idea. If you find a plant that's going to keep the mosquitoes away, by all means, do it. Eliminate, standing water, those kinds of things. That will help. Put up, if you have bats in the area, bats do a great job. Well, I've got bats here. And I mean, not at my house. Well, they are at my house, I guess. I don't know where they sleep, but every night they're flying over my backyard. So they keep the mosquitoes down quite a bit. It's great. So you can put up bat houses and encourage your bats to come in. All kinds of things you can do that way. All right. Craig says also, I found a recipe grilled, marinated with sage, thyme, and parsley, which I just so happen to have a ton of. Yeah, I do too. And I have 2 roosters. I'm waiting for the mood to strike me to eat. That sounds pretty good. I don't see anything wrong with that. Marinated with sage, thyme, and parsley, and then grill them. I think that's a hit. One thing I really like for a very easy recipe for quail, excuse me, is sprinkle them down with some Cavenders. Cavenders is a Greek seasoning. I don't know if you can get it everywhere. It's common around here. I think it's made in Arkansas, which is like half an hour drive, 45-minute drive from here. So it's very common here, but I don't know if you can get it everywhere around the country. But it's fantastic. I just sprinkle them down, throw them under the broiler for like 6-7 minutes, and they're done. All right. Good looking honky, huh? Says Redneck Peter North here, an old porn star, huh? Great stream. Well, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. It says, how do you sex the quail? I've got a couple of videos on weird colors, like your standard brown color, and usually the Italians, you can tell by their feathers. The browns, the roosters are going to have a red chest. The females are going to have like a speckled brown and white chest. So they're pretty easy to tell. Your Italians, the reds are the roosters tend to have kind of a red head where the females don't. So you can tell with that. Most of the others you have to vent sex. So you have to wait till they hit sexual maturity. The roosters start crowing, they start laying eggs, and then you take them and you turn them upside down. The males will have like a, right at the back of their tail, they're gonna have kind of a bulb right there. It's kind of swollen a little bit. And if you just push on that real lightly, you'll see foam comes out their vent. That means it's a rooster. So you can watch my video on that. I think it was 3 easy ways to sex quail or something like that. Go back and you can watch that, and it shows it in more detail and probably a little bit easier. All right, Good Looking Honky says, I eat garlic when my producer tries to get me to work with a fat woman on the set. Okay, you're getting a little bit off color here. Good Looking Honky, please keep it. Uh-oh, we're running low on battery life. Uh-oh, I can't get things to work. There we go. Hopefully that's working. Okay. So, okay, what I was saying, Good Looking Honky, we got kids in here, we got families in here. Please keep it clean, please. You're not too bad yet, but I just wanted to give you the warning. Don't go too much further. All right, Hidden Bunnies says a white bird. Okay, a white bird, you're going to have to you're going to have to vent sex that one whenever it has to be mature before you can do it. All right, Lulu the Silky Chicken says, thanks for the info. I traded my quail for a trio of Iam Sermani chicks. I'm not familiar with those exactly. I've always wanted some. I did save me like 50 eggs to hatch before I traded them. That's a good idea. So yeah, you're going to hatch out, have more quail, and you got the chicks that you always wanted. Congratulations. Nice. Craig Steele says, what dictates color and size, the rooster or the hens or both? Honestly, Craig, I'm not an expert on genetics, so I don't know for sure. I think the male has more determination on that than the female does, but don't quote me on that one. I'm not a genetics expert. All right, Martin says, I started raising quail in my yard, and every now and then, or everything I know, I learned from you. Thanks so much. Well, thank you so much, Martin, for the kind comments. And thank you for watching the videos and for joining the live stream with us. Appreciate that. All right, Catherine says, they are a standard. So cool. They are. What is? I missed it. I'm lost. Well, Hidden Bunnies, you have to go to the restroom. You'll be back. Okay. Well, I hope hope everything goes great. Curtis Snow wants to know if I thought about putting out a recipe book on quail and rabbit. You know, I've thought about doing that. I've just got to find the time to do it. I've been so busy. I haven't even really, you know, I talked about putting together an online course for raising quail. I mean, I haven't even been able to get started on that one, so I need to get off my butt and get it done. But it's just been so much going on. Hopefully I'll get that done soon, and maybe I'll put out a recipe book as well. All right, Conor O'Leary says, lemongrass is great for preventing mosquitoes. Good suggestion there. John Liberty says, quail recipe, put meat on a stick, hold over a fire, and eat. That's a good suggestion too, John. You know, quail meat's different than rabbit. Rabbit's a really mild meat. You really need to add lots of things to it. You know, chicken stock and stuff like that to give it a lot of flavor. But quail's got a really good flavor by itself. You don't need much at all. Just some light seasoning over it and bake it, or put it under your broiler or over a grill. Hot and fast is the trick with quail. You don't want to overcook them. They'll get tough. So usually it's like 4 or 5 minutes under the broiler, and that's about it. All right. All right, Connor O'Leary says, is the meat of older birds still good to eat? I have some 1-year-old males. You know, Connor, I think that the quail are different. Like the rabbits, you know, the older they get, the tougher the meat gets. With the quail, I haven't noticed that. I butchered some older birds, and they've done just fine. They've been very good. So, yeah, I think the meat from the older birds is just fine to eat. All right, Hannah says, what is the purpose of clipping flight wings? Is it absolutely necessary? No, Hannah, it's not, especially not with Coternyx. They don't really fly all that well. Now, if you were to keep them in a like a great big flight pen, like had a huge high ceiling and a bunch of area, they'd probably learn to fly a little bit better. They don't really fly all that well. The purpose of clipping their wings would be to keep them from flying away. So if they get out, they don't fly over into your neighbor's house. Mine don't fly all that well at all, so I don't find it a need. Brian Roderick says, tip for keeping quail cool, I put ice in their water bucket in the evening. That's a good suggestion. With quail around here, or with the temperatures around here, ice doesn't last very long, so I don't do it, but that's a good suggestion. I don't see why it didn't work. All right, Hannah says, is there a place I can take my quails to get them to do? Local butcher shops, if you have any, and see if they'll do that. Probably not. It's a possibility, though. See if you can find a friend that will come by and do it for you. That would be my suggestion. And I'm sorry, I know that's kind of difficult. You may just kind of have to swallow the bullet and do it. It will get easier as it goes. It's never going to be something that you look forward to, that's fun, it's not like that at all. But it will get easier to do as you go. And I don't know where to tell you to look exactly. Walter Camp's got some good suggestions for mosquito control. He says mint, holly, basil, and lemongrass should all help with mosquitoes. Okay, well, that's a good suggestion. Thanks for that. Oh, you snuck in on me, Max. All right, where are we at? Those chicks she is talking about, they're solid black inside and out. The meat whenever you were butchering his black everything. Oh, okay, I have heard of those before, Curtis. Yeah, those are interesting birds, all black. That's, yeah, not just black feathers. I mean, black skin, everything black. Very interesting. All right, Kegamine TV. Okay. Do you know math better or science? Oh, boy. Let's see, I know math. Yeah, I'm not bad at math. I think I'm okay with that. I actually started college as a biology major, but I only went like 1 year as that and then changed my major, decided I didn't want to do that. So I don't know which one I'm better at. Who knows? It's hard to say. I know math well enough that I can create formulas in Excel and make Excel do the math for me. So if that's anything. All right, Lulu Silky Chicken says, yeah, around where I live, the eggs sell for a high price, $25 to $35 a egg. Great money maker. Chicks are like 50 each. Wow, that's a really good money maker, Lulu. You have to send some of those eggs to me and let me get in on that. All right, Bluesman says, yes, I call any Samani chick that hatches with clear toes. Interesting. Catherine says, the Rex rabbits I got for free are standard. No, that didn't confuse me. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't get like mini Rexes you wanted to breed with a New Zealand. That would not probably be a good idea. But yeah, your standard Rexes, by all means, great meat rabbit. All right, Lulu says, this guy had a full albino Samani. It was very awesome. Never seen one before. Interesting. John Liberty says, I mix my culled Samanis with meat birds and sell them to Asians. Asians love large breast black meat birds. Interesting. We've got a pretty big Asian market around here, especially during certain times of the year. Carthage, Missouri, which is our county seat here, has a what do they call that? It's a Vietnamese, like a Vietnamese school over there, and Marian Days. There we go. Every year they have Marian Days, and like Vietnamese people from all over the country come down here, and there's there's a big celebration that goes on down there. You can go down there and buy Vietnamese food and stuff. It's really good, and it's kind of a neat little community that they have. The Bluesman says, John, give them 4 weeks to make sure they don't outgrow. They don't outgrow it. Mine are all GFF line and still get clear toes sometimes. Okay, you're talking back about the birds. So John Liberty's got a good point here. He says, my calls get to live on for crossbreeding, so I won't lose any mistaken calls. Yeah, that's a good point. Cull does not always mean kill. Cull just means remove from your breeding program, remove from your herd. You know, that's all that cull means. Okay, Chris Colmer says, hi, Chris. I have an English female and a silver quail male. I put them together. Would I get more white or silver? You don't know, honestly. It just depends. I don't know which one of those is dominant. I would guess the white is dominant, so you're probably going to get more white than silver, but I really don't know for sure. Dave Hogg says, hi, Chris. It seems when you plan to do a project, life tends to get in the way. Oh, tell me about it. I've got a half-built quail hutch out there, and I'm shooting a video on that for you guys. I'll post it up because it's probably going to be a little bit different. It's going to be very similar to my big hutch, my big white hutch, but a little bit different. A few changes I'm making to that, so I'm shooting video on it. But all I got is like the base frame built. That's it. I started it last weekend. Haven't been able to work on it at all. Everything's just popping up and getting in the way. So John says right now I have a call breeding with Japanese gray bantams to see what I get. Interesting. All right, Hidden Bunny says, why do birds follow directions? Oh, this is another joke. Why do birds follow directions? Because they like to wing it. Oh, why do birds follow directions? I think that would be, why don't birds follow directions? Because they like to wing it. Ha, very funny. Hannah Park says, you're the best, John. She's your biggest fan. Very nice. Hidden Bunny says, have you looked at Two Guys in a Cooler's channel? You know, I did look at their channel, Hidden Bunnies. There was like some kind of, I think it was a sausage making video they were doing or something. Looked like an interesting channel. Looked like some good information. Not a lot of views, not a lot of subscribers, but good content. If they keep it up, they'll probably get a lot of them. Kelly says, killing an animal to eat it should make you feel bad. I hunt and I will kill my own animals. Hannah Park, that is an important part of the thing with raising livestock. It is, and Kelly, I think you're right. You know, killing an animal should, I don't know if it should make you feel bad, but you need to have respect for the animal. I agree with that, absolutely. It's not something like, I don't really feel guilty for killing an animal. I feel guilty for killing an animal and it's suffering in the process. Like, if I make a bad shot when I'm hunting and I gut shot the deer and he lays there for a little while before he dies, that makes me feel bad. If it's a good, clean shot and he goes down almost immediately, I don't feel bad about that and necessarily guilty about that. But I do have respect for the animal, and I'm thankful for the animal. So anyway, I agree with you though. Christine says, love your dog. I love my dog too. He's a very good dog. Very good. Yep, that's what you meant, hidden bunnies. I knew it. Kelly says, it is the right thing to do your own. You will see life in a real balance. I agree with that too, Kelly. And you're much less likely to like waste the food. There's nothing worse than like if you've raised a rabbit, you butcher it, you put it in the freezer, and then you don't eat it and it goes bad. That's pretty rough. As opposed to like you bought some meat from the store and it ends up going bad. I don't know why. There is a difference. Walter Camp, I think you're taken out. So have a good night. My dog's getting wound up. I can hear him in there running around doing something. Hang on, guys. Let me go check and make sure he's not tearing something up. Max. Oh, you got a toy. Nope, I should have known better. He's just got a toy. He's just playing with a toy. All right. All right, what is that? Start again fully says, I'm just getting started with meat rabbits. One of my friends got me onto your videos. Thank you. Some of your ideas have definitely helped me set up my own backyard cages. Well, thank you so much for the kind comments. I'm glad that, thank you for watching the videos. I'm glad that you're finding them helpful. And where are we at here? Chris says, hey, Chris, I got my quail on the ground. What do you suggest to put on the ground so poop won't stick to their feet? Less birds. That's really about it. You're gonna have to just give them a lot of area, a lot of room. If you have them on the ground, you're gonna get poop on their feet. You're just gonna have to give them a whole lot of area to move around in or clean it out every day. That's really about all you can do. You can go with a deep litter method, which would be like putting a lot of like wood chips and things in there. That will help because it will, it'll fall down through the wood chips. That will help, but it won't alleviate it completely. Hidden Bunnies wants to know where I live. Well, my address, I'm not going to give you my address, but I live in Joplin, Missouri, Southwest Missouri. That's where I live. I have never been to Portland, Oregon, Christopher. That may be one of the things that I have to go to someday. By the way, great name, Christopher. That's my name too. Anyway, no, I'll have to check out Portland, Oregon. Never been. I've been to California, but never as far. And I've been to Arizona, so I've been on that side of the country, but never Portland, Oregon. John Liberty says, your rabbit cage making videos are how I found your channel. You did a great instructional video. Well, thank you so much, John. I think that I kind of have the natural heart of a teacher. That's really kind of why I started this channel. The bad thing is I really only do instructional videos because I'm not very good at the other kinds. But I think I do a decent job with instructional videos. That rabbit cage making video was the very first video I ever made. And hang on. Oh, we got, sorry, big shot of my hand there. I'm getting a low battery. The phone's about to die, so we're gonna have to wrap this up. But anyway, that rabbit cage making video, very first video I ever made. I don't think it was that great. I think I've gotten much better at them since then. But thank you for watching that. I am really glad that you liked it, and thank you for sticking with the channel. I gotta get this stuff wrapped up. I need to visit Naples, Florida, huh, Kinsey? I may do that too. Yes, Christopher Stone, yeah, the slugs seem to be under control now. Haven't had any problems with them the last couple of days. I gotta get this closed up. I gotta quit looking at chat or I'll keep responding to it. Did the video freeze up on us or are we still going? Mine in the background looks like it's frozen. I guess you guys can still hear me. You're responding to me. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for joining me for a live broadcast. I've got another business trip coming up here in a couple of weeks. Next week should be fine. I should be here. 2 weeks after that, I don't know if I'll be here for the next 2 weeks. We'll see. I'll fill you more in on that next week. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Thanks for watching my videos. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.